You've just stepped into the only place where Hornets sting, Panthers growl, and 49ers try not to blow a fourth quarter lead. Welcome to the Buzz and Roar Show, hosted by a guy who loves sports named Ethan. We're talking Queen City sports with just the right amount of bias and way too much caffeine. Let's get it going.
Welcome to episode 22 of the Buzz and Roar Show. Goodness gracious, I was chewing chips when this episode started. It's episode 22 of the Buzz and Roar Show. This is going to be the shortest intro of my life. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel called capital B, Uz, capital A, and capital R, Roar, capital S Show. If you're watching on YouTube, follow the show on Spotify. Both are linked in the channel bio or description of this episode. There we go. If you'd like to get involved with the show or a sponsorship request, send me an email at all lowercase ethanthebroadcaster@gmail.com. That is ethanthebroadcaster@gmail.com. Or click the email page in my YouTube channel's main description. I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, or ideas for future episodes. Or you can DM me on Instagram, which is all lowercase Buzz and Roar Show, for updates, clips, and more. All right. With all that out of the way, subscribe for more. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by February 2026. That's 1 month from now. I'm at 123. Anything's possible. This is the best and biggest interview I've done so far. I just want to announce it. Okay. Once again, this is going to be the shortest intro of my life because it's kind of a long interview. I think it's 31 minutes or so. But listen, y'all. This guy, I have been watching him for probably 3.5, 4 years now. And I've already announced it on YouTube, but if you have not seen who it is the one, the only, Andrew Benishell. I actually learned how to say his name correctly on the interview. Let me put this out there, y'all. This is the funniest interview I have ever done in my life. And I'm just being honest. It really is. This guy is hilarious. Okay? We had so much fun doing this interview. Go subscribe to his channels, his links, whatever. I am guaranteed going to have him back on the show. NBA playoff time, something like that. He's going to be back on the show. But subscribe for more. Go subscribe to his channel. As you can see, I am. So why can't you? In fact, I'll turn on all notifications just for him. Once again, hit that sub button. And let's go and go to kickoff, which is the only segment of the day because, once again, best interview of all time. Let's go. See y'all on episode 23. But otherwise, Andrew and Ethan is about to take the show.
Let's dive into the show with a game to start us off. It's kickoff time here on the Buzz and Roar Show. Who's ready? I know I am.
Welcome to Buzz and Roar Show, episode 22. I'm here with one of my favorite NBA analysts on YouTube. I watch him all the time, Andrew. I actually didn't even ask this before. I think it's Finacle or something like that. I forgot to ask that beforehand. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's a weird last name. It doesn't feel like it would be a weird last name until you try to say it, and then you're like, wait, Fenichel. It's sort of like the NHL.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like the NHL. Yeah, I actually like how you put that. We had some good games on the NBA slate today, earlier on in the day, like the Thunder versus Cavs. And, of course, we got the College Football National Championship coming up at around 7:30 Eastern time tonight. So a fun day to watch sports, but I had some questions about the Charlotte Hornets, of course. That's why I got you on here, as we honestly come up on one of the most, impressive-looking seasons in the past 3 to 4 years. So, I wanted to see what your opinions on that were. But just before we get started, make sure to hit that sub button. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by February 2026. And check out Andrew's links in the description. I'm going to link his stuff down below as well. So let's start episode 22 with a really good question. I want to ask about LaMelo Ball. Okay, so we've heard a while ago, and honestly still now, about a LaMelo Ball trade possibly happening. So I was curious if you thought, if there would be a trade before the deadline, or do you think they will trade him this year? Or if they do trade him, will it be in the offseason? Just what do you think the situation there is?
I'd be pretty shocked if he got traded at the deadline this year, and for a number of reasons. I think one, like why trade him now and not last year even, right? I think the team's actually looking pretty good when that you got your big three of LaMelo, Con, and Brandon Miller all healthy. So, between that and the fact that with after this Trae Young trade, the market for, borderline all-star level players is probably lower than it's ever been. I mean, I can't even imagine Trey would get a significantly bigger return or sorry, LaMelo would get a significantly bigger return than Trey would. And the third reason is like, I mean, as a small market team, LaMelo Ball is one of the 15 most popular players in the league. He
Yeah.
puts, butts in seats on the road. He draws attraction, social media engagement. Like LaMelo is the star of this team, and I think from a business angle, that is way too valuable of a type of guy to give up when, yeah, unless you're getting a Desmond Bain level package, I just don't see it.
Yeah, and I kind of wrote down on this. No matter your answer to that Lamelo Ball trade question, I want to know if Lamelo did get traded right now, who do you think we would get in return, and who do you think we'd trade him to?
Personally, I would love to see him on the Toronto Raptors. And I know the Raptors reportedly offered some sort of like Emmanuel Quickly, first round pick, another salary. I don't know, Jacoby Walter, some sort of piece together package for Trae Young. Yeah, man, LaMelo with that kind of defensive types of players around him, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram. I think that
Yeah.
would be pretty special. But yeah, we'll see.
For sure. Now, third question is, do you think the Charlotte Hornets will make the play-in tournament? Because of course we're sitting at I think 16 and 27 right now. We just got the win over the Nuggets last night, and I mean we're really inconsistent right now. But I mean that's kind of where I'm kind of dead set on will we or not, because I mean we're only 4 games behind the Hawks, which are the 10th seed right now in the Eastern Conference, the last team in. So I mean, it makes me wonder, because of our inconsistency, will we make it, or will we stop the inconsistency and just go on a run, or will we stop the inconsistency and start losing a bunch of games? So I mean, I want to hear your thoughts on whether we would make the play-in or not. Do you think we will?
Well, the Hawks suck. So that, I mean, like, it's not like you're fighting super uphill here, right?
Yeah,
And the Hawks are what now, 1-4 with CJ McCollum in the lineup. I think they got or they lost again today. McCollum missed the game winner. They were down big in that game. Point is, like, I think the reason the opportunity for optimism for you guys is a couple things. One, you guys actually have a better plus minus than the Lakers,
yeah,
which
I saw that.
sounds fake. And obviously there's some strength of schedule stuff in there, East versus West, etc. But like for I think what 11 games under 500 right now you guys are to have
Yeah,
a zero, just straight zero
yeah,
point differential is kind of insane and almost speaks to more bad luck than anything else. Bears fans have heard me talk about point differential plenty over the last
yeah,
2 months. Not they're not my biggest fans right now, but it's true, right? I think point differential does a better job often of sort of explaining how well you match up night to night than just wins and losses. Also, you guys have a horrible record in close games. And
yeah,
I think
definitely.
that's another often like variable that will regress to the mean, especially once you have your fully healthy lineup. I think Tajon Salon has looked a lot better in the last
Oh yeah,
month or so. He should only continue to get better. The bet with you guys is just health. If you can
uh-huh.
promise me LaMelo is going to play 95, him and Brandon Miller are going to play 95% of the remaining games, then hell yeah, I'm taking you guys to make the play in over the Hawks.
Yeah, and actually, I wanted to. This is one of those questions I just popped up in my head as you were talking. Um, uh, do you like the rotations that Charles Lee has given us this year? I mean, we've seen he benched LaMelo late in the Warriors game. We saw he actually didn't even start LaMelo some of the games on those back-to-back nights. Which, if you think about the back-to-back nights, I will put this out here. I've noticed that I feel like he's not doing it just to not play him. I think he's just doing it because I mean, we've seen he's getting injury prone on that ankle in the past. So, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit of both. We want our younger guys to develop, but also we don't want him to get his ankle injured because he plays all 30 minutes for 2 nights in a row. So I was curious if you have liked Charles Lee as a head coach, but not only that, just his rotations in general.
I do like Charles Lee. I mean, he comes from what he was an assistant on the Celtics during their
Yeah,
championship run, and then before that, he was with was it the Warriors? Was it the Mavs? Mavs maybe?
I think so.
I think it was with the Mavs. So he has championship experience as a high-level assistant coach. Yeah, as far as the rotations, I'm not reading too much into the LaMelo stuff. I think what the first game he got benched, he like came off the bench and dropped 30, right? So
Yeah,
the LaMelo thing, I think, has more to do with injuries and figuring it out. I also just think you guys have a lot more depth than anyone wants to admit. Like the Colin Sexton trade has been, I mean, outside of the Luka trade, the biggest fleece of the last 12 months.
yeah,
You gave up Nurkic for Colin Sexton, who's been
yeah.
an incredible piece for you guys.
Oh,
You're trying to fit him in, the young guys. You got Musa, but also Kalkbrenner, trying to
uh-huh.
figure out which of those young bigs is better. So I don't think it's an easy job, and I think overall, he's done okay.
Now, back to my questions I wrote down. If we made the play-in, what do you give us on chances wise to not only win the play-in, but get past the first round, go on a little run? Of course, we haven't seen many teams even get past the first round of it after a play-in run. But I mean, I was curious. Do you think the Hornets would be the team to do that, go on a little run after winning the play-in?
Sorry, man. I know I'm speaking to the Hornets faithful here, but I don't think so.
No, that's fair.
It's just going to be tough. If you get the seven or the eight, I mean, yeah, you're probably facing the some combination of Celtics, Cavs, Knicks,
Uh-huh.
Pistons. Like those are good veteran teams, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
you're not at home. Could you steal two games? Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, like the Magic, got swept by the Celtics last year. So I don't know. It's just tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. But
Has a team even made it past the first round after winning the play-in yet? I don't think they have. Maybe one or
oh, that's a good question.
I think.
Well, the Warriors last year, right, were the seven and they beat the two seed Rockets. Am I making this up? Or were they the six?
I don't know.
Let me look it up real quick.
I thought they were this.
They were the seven. So the Warriors,
They
I
were.
guess, made it
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
So that
Huh.
counts. Uh, yeah,
Huh.
it's not possible. And the Heat, I
But
think
it's
what
not
the Heat
many.
2023 Miami Heat, right? Were
Yeah.
the eight seed and they
Yeah. I
beat the
remember that
Bucks.
actually. I do remember that. Yeah.
So it's not impossible,
I mean,
but
it's not impossible, but it's probably unlikely. Now, I've heard a ton of people say that this Hornets team, and I actually did hear, I think it was on like First Take or something the other day, say talk about the Hornets, and they were talking about how, I mean, this team is about to make a jump to one of the best teams in the league in only one season, kind of like the Pistons a couple years back. Like we're
mm,
starting to see like the back and forth stuff over and over again, kind of like the season before the Pistons made that jump. I mean, besides that big losing streak, but after that losing streak of the Pistons, they started to do that kind of back and forth thing. That's kind of what the Hornets are doing right now. So, I mean, do you think we're going to make that jump to like a top spot in the Eastern Conference, kind of like people are expecting, kind of like the Pistons did a couple of years back? Even with Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton and others who are injured this year returning to the conference next year, returning to play, it'll definitely be tougher than this year. But I was curious if you thought we would make like kind of go on a little run, maybe go get 40 wins on the year, 42, something like that.
well, clearly not because the Wizards are going to be the young team that jumps up to being a top seed in the East. But no,
Really?
yeah, I think winning 40 games is a lot different than doing what the Pistons did this year. Clearly, right? Because you guys win 40 games. You guys, you're probably a little bit too far behind right now to get there. But like,
Yeah.
I don't think you guys are that far off from being a 40 win team right now.
Yeah.
A 50 win team next year, I mean, that's gonna, unless you guys got really lucky in the
Yeah.
lottery or something. Because again, you got to think the Pistons, like Cade has taken that jump to being like an MVP vote getter, right? You need LaMelo
Uh-huh.
to sort of take that jump, and that requires LaMelo staying healthy, which was a problem Cade Cunningham had early in his career, right? So I think the stars sort of have to align for LaMelo first, and then it's going to come down to the young guys developing. But like you said, it's a good point that next year is only going to be much harder to do that. So, because the Wizards are going to be the best team in the NBA.
Don't overthink it. you should overthink it. This guy's always wrong. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I wanted to ask, why do you think we have been so inconsistent lately? Because I mean, once again, I was talking about the back and forth thing earlier. I think we're literally like in our past 10, I think we're perfectly 500 or something like that. I mean, we are definitely showing signs of improvement, but I mean, let me read you the past literally one, two, three, four, five. The past 5 games, we go beat the Jazz by almost 60, lose to the Clippers by 9, beat the Lakers by 20, lose to the Warriors by 20, and then beat the Nuggets by 23, I think. And so, I mean, it's literally back and forth. And the craziest part is that we're beating really good teams. And when we saw the OKC Thunder, that was
Yeah.
wild. I went crazy after that. But I mean, it's just, I was curious what you thought about that because, I mean, you wonder if it has to do with Charles Lee doing these rotations or so. Like, I was curious what you thought it was and why we were being so inconsistent and how we could kind of fix it.
I definitely, for again, first thought is the injuries, right?
Yeah.
Like that you guys have dealt with. And it sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's not, right? Think about you're a podcaster, right? Think of every
Yeah.
day you had to use a different set of headphones and a different microphone. And one day you had your green screen, and the next day Zoom wasn't working. So you had to use, you'd be like, every show wouldn't be the same, right?
Yeah.
So, not to compare, a podcast to an NBA team, but it makes sense. No matter what you do, like having a routine and having consistency matters, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, and that dictates the roles guys play, and I think that comes down to a lot of the late game struggles. We don't know what LaMelo Ball we're gonna get today because he's always in and out of the lineup. We don't know if we have Brandon Miller out there today to go take clutch shots. So I would definitely say it's that, and then I think it's also partly just being a young team. Closing games is hard in the NBA. I've seen the Wizards blow plenty of games this year in the last 5 minutes, but that's a good learning experience, right? So. Yeah, I think I would really need to dive into some of the film and the Charles Lee rotations if I was going to blame him.
Uh-huh.
But those two places is where I would start first.
Yeah, for sure. And then gosh, I just had a thought. I was gonna ask something. Oh yeah, so I want to go back to that Thunder game. I was curious, because it was such a shocking win for the Hornets. I would say probably this is kind of, I don't know if this is a crazy take or not. Probably the best win we've had in the past 4 to 5 years. I mean, genuinely.
Yeah.
I mean, the Thunder are really, really good this year and last year. They could genuinely go back to back. However, my thought was, do you think like, of course we played good, but do you think it was the Thunder coming into the game at home just going, okay, we're playing the Hornets. No way we can lose this. Or do you think they came in with their usual mentality of we have to compete, but the Hornets just played that good to beat the Thunder?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'll be honest, like I didn't that game was what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
The fifth, yeah, 2 weeks ago
Yeah, a
ish.
couple weeks ago. I remember I tuned in for part of the third quarter because this was right around the time that the Thunder were sort of on their weird losing streak. It was
Hmm.
like right after the NBA Cup and
Yeah.
or then they had like lost to the Spurs again, right, on
Uh-huh.
Christmas. And so I was like, okay, I sort of want to know what's going on, watch a few minutes of the Thunder, and then I looked at the score and you guys were up big at halftime, and I was like, what's happening? So I didn't watch that full game, so I can't comment on the whole thing, but
Uh-huh.
I think it's a little bit of everything you said. I know that they were like red hot from three in that game.
Oh
I feel like
yeah.
you guys couldn't miss a three, so that always helps. There's only so much a team can do, and the other team, entire teams turn into Steph Curry. But yeah, it's almost like Dell was out there himself.
Yeah. We shot 51% from 3, 19 and
Yeah, that's
37.
wild.
Yeah,
All right.
that's crazy. And then I mean we also had 25 free throws, shot 92% from there. But I mean, we also guarded the 3 point and really field
Hmm.
goals in general really well too, because they shot 37% from field goals in general. I mean, that's kind of unusual for the
Yeah.
Thunder. Then here's just some crazy questions, okay? Like wild
Okay.
questions that would never be even thought of, I feel like. The first
Okay.
one is a little more reasonable than the second one, but I always do this with people who come on. I think of the most random question, like a crazy trade that probably will never happen, but if it did happen, what could we give up for it? So, we heard Bill Simmons a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it was I don't know where he said it, but he said something along the lines of like he doesn't know why a LaMelo Ball to the Warriors for Steph Curry trade should not be possible. Like he said, if you could search it up, he said that. He said, like I mean, Del Curry, his history there, Seth Curry, his history there. Like, why is this not just a thing? It could end the Warriors' little slump. It could end the Hornets' little slump. And how impossible on a scale of 1 to 10 within the next 3 years do you think that trade is?
Ooh. Well,
Would it,
that's a better way to
yeah,
frame it.
yeah. Would it make sense, especially considering he's coming up on his last years? This is how I thought of it. He's coming up on his last years in the NBA. So do you think he might just want to put his dad's name with a Charlotte Hornets jersey on, back the number 30 jersey back on one last time before the
Man.
Curry retirement era ends? Like, do you think it could be possible by the time he hits like 39, maybe 40 if he goes that far?
The way you're describing it, that'd be pretty magical, dude. So, yeah, like right now, absolutely not. For
No.
way too many. I mean, the way Warriors fans would freak out,
Oh, they would
and
go
it's not even because
crazy.
like LaMelo is not good or obviously younger than Steph. It's Steph, man.
Yeah.
You can't. That being said, yeah, if Steph like clearly took a step back, or or honestly, what it would really take is like, let's say Steph had like a pretty bad injury and he only played 20 games next year, God forbid, and it was just clear
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, he had one more year or like half a season left, and it was well, let's do something, for Steph. And Steph came out and told the fan base in Golden State, hey guys, like I want this for my legacy and my family and for what my dad meant to me. I think then the fan base would buy in Golden State, and that would unlock the opportunity, and then it would be super cool. But as long as Steph is still like a top 10 guy in the league, I mean, absolutely
Yeah.
not. There's just no way.
Okay. Now, this is the crazier scenario. This is the most wild thing you're probably going to hear in a while. Okay.
Okay.
Just putting it out there. And funny enough, both of these scenarios I heard, like an NBA analyst tweeted or something like that and said it live on national television, just kind of was talking about it, just like, what if? Okay,
Okay.
this second one, it wasn't as popular of an NBA analyst was, though I forgot who it was. But a while back, okay, like before this year's NBA draft, before Bronny James got drafted by the Lakers, I heard that, hypothetically, if and yes, I can see that look in your face. This is going to LeBron James to the Charlotte Hornets. But listen, um, a while back there was like this NBA analyst who said something like whoever drafts Bronny James, if they draft Bronny James before the Lakers and like completely just take away from the fact like the whole plan is like to draft him to the same team as LeBron, uh, do you think that team would get LeBron because his son is on that team? And so I was wondering if we traded like a second for Bronny James, and then the year after, if LeBron is still playing, like this is at the deadline, this year's deadline, we trade a second for Bronny James. Then the year after, we just go all out, trade LaMelo Ball, Tijon Salon, Musa Diabate, just give the Lakers a package with how really, I mean, good, I mean, set they seem on Luka Doncic. I, and this isn't really just the Hornets, really any team. Would it somehow be possible to pull this off and get LeBron on that team? It's such a crazy scenario, but I mean, it's just something I thought of.
You're not crazy for thinking about this. I think the one piece you're missing is that last thing you said that it could be any team. And so
Yeah.
if this was true and actually a possibility that, hey, all you got to do to get LeBron James is trade for Bronny, well, then every team's going to want to do that, even if it's for like
Yeah.
1 year. And so therefore, like it would start a bidding war. And all of a sudden, yeah, you're probably exactly. You're trading like
Uh-huh.
LaMelo for Bronny because because that's the problem. Like LeBron's value, even just in terms of like off the court, is so absurdly massive
Yeah.
that you have to do it, right? And that's also why during that draft, what was it, 2024,
Yeah.
or yeah, the 2024
Yeah.
draft. I was like, it's not that simple that like, hey, if the Wizards draft Bronny with the 42nd pick, then LeBron's gonna come to DC. No, like You know what I mean? Like there was some sort of agreement with the league that, hey, let the Lakers get Bronny because the NBA needs LeBron in a major market. Unfortunately for all of us, right? There's just no way LeBron would go play in Memphis
Yeah.
or on the Sacramento Kings, right? Just because Bronny's there. It just what there's just no chance. He also has a no trade clause, I believe. So even
LeBron?
if you did LeBron, yeah. So even if you
Yeah.
did trade for Bronny, he could say no.
What if he waived that no trade clause?
Hey, he might. Him and
Actually, that leads to
who
another.
knows?
Let's go completely off the Charlotte Hornets trail. I mean, we're only 20 minutes in. I'll go for like 2 more minutes, maybe five. Is there a possibility? Let's say LeBron waives his trade clause. He requests a trade. Do you think there's a reunitation, or I don't even think that's a word, but do you think he could reunite with the Cleveland Cavaliers or go to the Miami Heat or something like that, or just like for like a last little just goodbye to the league, just say see ya Miami, see ya Cleveland, like maybe like the first half of the season he goes to Miami, then he requests another trade to Cleveland.
I hope so. I would love to see LeBron on
Yeah,
a team with a better shot at winning a title this year. I
yeah.
think the problem with the Cavs, if I remember, is that I think they're a second apron team, so therefore they can't aggregate salaries together to go get LeBron. If LeBron was getting paid like 10 million, it would be super easy. But he's making,
Hmm.
55 million, so they would have to literally trade, Jared Allen and Darius Garland for LeBron, which isn't good value for the Cavs. So that sort of
Yeah.
complicates these funny hypothetical LeBron trades. But yeah, could LeBron like restructure his deal maybe and figure it out? And I would hope so. And I think that'd be super cool.
Now, back to the kind of like the on track stuff. I do want to ask about a real trade rumor that actually might be possible and not LeBron or Steph Curry to the Hornets. Um, which I mean, you never know. I would love it. That would be crazy. But do you think, of course, okay, let's go back a little second. We saw John Morant the other day get interviewed and at post game, I think, and he said something about like I have a tattoo on my back with the Grizzlies logo. Uh I think everyone knows where I want to be. Okay. And so I guess the question is, we've heard John Morant trade rumors a lot. What are the chances the Hornets trade LaMelo for John Morant, get like a little more set in on Ja and Con and Brandon, which would be a little bit shorter of a duo. I do want to put that out there. They'd be it kind of be a short starting five because you would have Musa Diabate. He's played center a lot this year. You'd have probably Tijon, no, Miles Bridges at power forward, small forward Brandon Miller, and then Ja and Con at the 1 and 2. And so it'd be a little bit shorter of a duo, but it's almost like, would it almost help the Hornets if they did want to get rid of LaMelo? Like, would that be their first resort? And would that be the instantaneous team that this organization called? Would they instantly just go, okay, we're trading LaMelo. Let's see if John Morant wants to leave and tattoo the Hornets logo on his back next?
Yeah, right. You need to hire a tattoo removal guy first, then sell his house.
Yeah.
I wouldn't understand that at all. I mean, first of all, I think LaMelo is better than John Morant.
Yeah.
I also think like, I think some of the John Morant off the court stuff is a little overblown, but it's
Hmm.
still a factor when, again, like I said at the top of the show, LaMelo is one of the biggest draws in the sport, especially with the
Yeah.
younger demographic. So off the court doesn't make sense. On the court, I don't think it really makes sense. And if anything, it's just sort of a lateral move, right? They both have their flaws and pros and cons.
Uh-huh.
So and they're sort of ranked generally within the sphere of the NBA around the same. So it's like, why make that a sort of lateral move when it also causes like, uprooting your entire team chemistry and locker room? That doesn't make any sense to me. I think they would be
Yeah.
looking to get real assets for LaMelo or at least cap space, which is what the Hawks did for Trae Young.
Yeah, and then one last question. Then we have, of course, the college football national championship coming up. That's besides the point, though. Let me promote the road to the Natty Series I'm doing. I've had or three ESPN analysts come on the show. That was very fun, but go check that out. Anyways, back to the video. That was crazy. So LaMelo Ball, I'm still talking about LaMelo Ball trade stuff. This is the last question about of the video. If What do you think this isn't really a LaMelo Ball trade question. It's more of a Nipple centerpiece question because I saw something about the other day we should trade LaMelo and focus on but then I saw the comments on that Instagram post and it was like Nipple is probably not that guy to lead an entire NBA team. Now, personally, I don't really know how to think of this. I do think Nipple could probably lead an NBA team by himself, but would he be that guy that would lead you to the NBA Finals in 10 years? Like if you trade LaMelo for like a bigger center, that would be something that we need. I've heard Domantas Sabonis trade rumors. That would be a thriller. I would love Domantas Sabonis on our team. I mean, I don't really care who we get. If he is a tall center and he can just get in the paint and really rebound some basketballs, that would be huge. So, really, just if we traded for one of them bigger guys and then focused on Nipple, do you think that would be a good move or a bad move by this Hornets organization?
I love Knippel.
Yeah.
I think he's a stud.
Oh, yeah.
There are only 7 to 10 guys any given year in the NBA that are what you described as the number one option that can lead their team to a title.
Mm-hmm.
And 7 might even be too high, right? Like that type of player is so rare. Saying Knippel isn't that guy is not disrespectful at all, right? And I would agree with it. No, I don't think Knippel will ever be a top 5 player in the NBA. Put that on the record, right? And again, that is not disrespectful. That is just the reality of probability. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, look again, like that's so many teams are chasing that guy. The Wizards, we don't have that guy. Trae Young's not that guy. LaMelo's probably not that guy. LaMelo is probably better to also be a number 2 option, right? So, uh, yeah, Domantas Sabonis clearly isn't that guy. So you really need not, to a degree, nothing matters in the NBA until you have that guy, which is why tanking is such a
Yeah.
prevalent issue, in a way. So no, I don't think trading LaMelo for a center that's not any better is smart to then build around Khan. I think LaMelo and Khan together is really good. I think that's an awesome duo. So
Mm-hmm.
I would just keep running it. I know you guys have struggled, a little bit with the wins and losses, but
Mm-hmm.
I swear, man, I am a Charlotte Hornets fan. I think you guys have some really nice pieces and, just trust the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can I close out with one more question? Who do you think is going to
Yeah.
win the NBA Finals? It's completely off topic to the Hornets, but I want to know your take because I mean it's kind of hard to bet against the OKC Thunder. But then, do you think the Spurs are going to beat them once again, going like a crazy run in the playoffs like they just beat OKC? I think they're 2-1 against OKC this year because they just lost their last game. So who do you have winning the
Three,
NBA
three and
Finals
one,
this
I
year?
believe.
Three
Three
one.
and one,
Okay,
which is
yeah,
nuts. I'm gonna stick with my prediction from before the season, man, and that was Nuggets over Cavs. And I know the Nuggets have dealt with plenty of injuries, so that's still somewhat of an unknown, and the Cavs have dealt with plenty of problems themselves. Although they're kind of hot. They got blown out today, but before that they were starting to turn it around. There's just a lot of season left, and we still have the trade deadline and
yeah,
yeah, I mean the Knicks have their own problems, and I don't think anyone really trusts the Pistons in the East because of their youth.
uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm sticking with the Cavs in the East, and I really think the Nuggets, who took the Thunder to 7 last year, and now I think the Nuggets are much deeper, and I think the Thunder are a little bit worse. I think this is the Nuggets' year. I think Jokic gets his second.
Huh. For some reason, I did not expect that at all. I really didn't.
That's what
Well,
I'm here for, man. I
yeah.
have the takes no one else wants to have.
Well, don't overthink it. That's the best line in all of sports. I'm just putting it out there. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Appreciate it.
Cursing Nettie's like Google me just might be better, but
Right. I'll give it to
however,
Kurt.
however, that's going to do it for episode 22 of the Buzz and Roar Show. I think this will be on my last segment of the episode. So thank you so much, Andrew, for joining me. Uh, I hope to have you on in the future. Maybe when it comes playoff time, I always do stuff for NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs. I'll have you on for the NBA one. So thank you so much. This was probably the most fun interview I've done so far, and I think I've done 11 or so. So thank you very much. I hope to have you on at some point soon. Go Hornets. I don't know when the Hornets play the Wizards next or if they do, but we're going to beat y'all and see y'all next episode for episode 23 of the Buzz and Roar Show. Hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by February 2026. Once again, in the description is Andrew's links. See y'all next time here on the Buzz and Roar Show.
Thanks for listening to Buzz and Roar. We talk about sports, all kinds of sports. If you like the show, hit subscribe or follow. We'll be back soon with more stuff to share. Thanks again, and see you next time.